Welcome to this explainer. Now, if you've been feeling a sudden, unexplained chill in your organization's willingness to fund new AI projects, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're unpacking a massive, multi-million-dollar AI crisis that's quietly crippling enterprises, and much more importantly, we're going to talk about exactly how you can fix it. We're dissecting a brilliant positioning paper from Cetus Technologies that basically lifts the hood on exactly why this financial meltdown is happening right under our noses.
Okay, quick look at the agenda today. We've got 6 parts taking us all the way from the seductive trap of AI overuse straight through to a really concrete 90-day engineering fix. We'll hit the big mistakes you're probably making right now and wrap up with a roadmap to make your AI budget completely bulletproof.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, the token-maxing trap.
We really have to start with the seemingly harmless corporate trend that accidentally triggered a structural financial meltdown across the tech industry. So, token-maxing. You've probably seen this buzzword floating around your engineering Slack channels. It sounds a bit like Gen Z slang, right? But what it actually means is incredibly dangerous. It's basically treating inputs like outputs. It's the practice of running ridiculously long prompts, stacking parallel agents, running always-on workflows, and then pointing to that massive token consumption as proof that your team is successfully adopting AI. I mean, get a load of this. A leaked internal leaderboard from Meta perfectly captures the absolute absurdity of this. Back in April 2026, an internal dashboard called Claudeonomics leaked out. It was literally awarding digital badges like Model Connoisseur to the heaviest AI users. And employees gamed this leaderboard so hard that one single person burned through 281 billion tokens in just 1 month. No way, right? They took the leaderboard down within 2 days of the leak, but it proved a massive point. People will absolutely optimize for whatever you choose to measure.
Which brings us to Section 2. Mistake 1. Wasting money.
$1,500. That is the strict new monthly cap Uber had to slap on their engineers. Why? Well, after giving AI coding tools to roughly 5,000 engineers, they completely blew through their entire 2026 AI budget by April, 4 months in, and the money was just gone. And when their COO was pressed on what that massive spend had actually returned to the business, he just flatly stated that link is not there yet. Now, if you think Uber's situation is rough, consider this. $500 million. That staggering figure is the single-month Claude bill for one unnamed enterprise that decided to deploy AI with zero spending controls. Just let that sink in. This story is actively being cited in boardrooms everywhere right now as the ultimate cautionary tale for AI governance. And this massive 1,001% token spend growth since January 2025, it proves this isn't just a few anecdotal horror stories. Undisciplined volume is completely swamping the market reality. The craziest part about all of this is that blended per-token prices actually dropped 67% year over year. But enterprise invoices absolutely exploded anyway.
Let's talk about the single largest controllable waste out there, defaulting to premium models. Think about the massive 144x price spread between budget models, which sit at roughly 73 cents per million tokens, and premium frontier models coming in at $105 per million. Because a simple chat interface totally hides this cost, your team is almost certainly defaulting to a model that costs 144 times more than a budget model that could easily do the exact same simple job, like, drafting a quick status update. So there are 5 silent budget killers happening behind the scenes, and none of them will ever show up on a provider invoice. Providers will gladly tell you how much you spent, but never why. So your teams could literally be running orphaned agents right now with no business owner attached. Actually, industry data shows an average of 18% of all enterprise AI spend belongs to absolutely no team or use case. It's just machines talking to machines, quietly burning your cash.
All right, Section 3. Mistake 2. Unmeasured value.
We've got to stop looking at tokens as a measure of success. A token is a cost input. That's it. It tells you what the AI consumed. Business value, on the other hand, is a P&L output. It tells you what your business actually received. So counting tokens tells you absolutely zero about the actual value your business extracted from an AI interaction.
This is absolutely wild and perfectly proves the danger of just staring at usage dashboards.
Engineering research from Jellyfish found that heavy AI users were twice as productive, sure, but they consumed 10 times the tokens to get there. Without measuring the actual business output like merged pull requests or closed tickets, your most efficient rockstar engineer looks exactly identical on a usage dashboard to some employee who is just prompting in circles to climb an internal leaderboard.
This takes us to Section 4, the chilling effect.
So what happens when you combine completely unmeasured waste with a giant, unexplainable invoice? Well, it lands with a heavy thud on your CFO's desk, creating a massive chilling effect across the entire enterprise. Because right now, only 14% of CFOs see clear AI ROI, and Forrester data confirms that 1/4 of all planned enterprise AI funding has now been frozen or just pushed out to 2027. Finance teams are being asked to double AI spending while somehow hitting cost optimization targets, and they literally have no instrument panel connecting the two.
So here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. The axe is not falling on bad projects, it is falling on unmeasured ones. Your genuinely valuable, high-impact AI workflow is getting defunded right alongside the wasteful orphaned agents, simply because you didn't give your finance team the instrumentation they need to defend your project. Okay, let's fix it. Section 5, the value measurement fix. Here is the solution. You need to build a CFO-grade AI P&L, and you do that by assigning a business value classification to every single query and session. By tossing every interaction into one of these 4 buckets, you completely change the conversation with finance. Take the exploratory bucket, for instance. That protects legitimate educational play and learning by treating it as a budgeted investment, not just runaway cost. And that unattributed bucket, that becomes your ultimate honesty meter. It lets you track accidental or orphan usage and drive those dangerous runaway loops straight down to 0.
But listen, you can't classify what you can't see, right? You absolutely must implement unconditional logging. You log all this metadata into an analytics store you own, something like OpenSearch, to transform those invisible provider costs into a highly granular request-level telemetry dashboard. This captures the vital acceptance signal, like did the user actually accept the AI's draft or did they just abandon it? That is how you measure true value.
And let's put this into real dollars and cents, because the payoff is massive. Let's look at an enterprise consuming 50 billion tokens a month. If they just default everything to frontier models, that's our Tokenmaxxing baseline, they are spending $875,000 a month. But by implementing this value tag discipline, they can safely route simple tasks to right-sized budget models. This disciplined routing slashes their AI spend down to $148,000. That's an 83% reduction in cost while preserving 95% of the response quality. Incredible!
Finally, Section 6, the 90-day roadmap. Here is your exact, actionable playbook that you can start executing tomorrow to save your AI initiatives. This 90-day sequence shifts your entire posture. In the first 30 days, you are just establishing visibility with OpenSearch. Get the lights on. By day 60, you roll out the value taxonomy and hand your CFO their very first AI P&L. And by day 90, you're actively routing traffic to right-sized models. You officially shift from blind token maxing to a defensible value discipline, ensuring every single dollar of your AI spend justifies itself.
This quote from Sean Ennis hits the nail on the head and perfectly encapsulates everything we've talked about today. The goal isn't just to slash budgets blindly. You just need to stop focusing on usage as a trophy and start proving your actual business outcomes. The enterprises that master this, they are the ones who will be able to fund AI aggressively for the next decade because they can actually prove to their business that it deserves the money.
If you're ready to implement this exact architecture and finally stop the bleeding, reach out to Sean Ennis at Cetus Technologies. You can shoot an email to sean@cetus.cloud or just book a meeting directly at cal.com/Sean-Ennis. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a really provocative question. When your CFO inevitably walks over to your desk and asks what your massive AI invoice actually produced this month, what is your dashboard going to say? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and good luck out there.